Hey everyone, this is Michael from Up and Running Tutorials, and in this video we'll see just how easy it is to get started with a new Gatsby project. This video assumes you already have Node and Git installed on your computer, and you have a text editor and a terminal app that you're ready to use. If you're missing any of those, or if you're not sure what some of those are, check out the article I've linked in the video description below, which will help you set up your computer so you're ready to move forward with this tutorial. Assuming you've done that, let's head to Gatsby's documentation page and check out their instructions for how to start a new Gatsby project. Gatsby's documentation is very clear and easy to follow, and it's a great resource anytime you're going to do something new with Gatsby you haven't done before. To get started with a Gatsby project, you want to look here under Quick Start. So if we navigate there now, we can see here on the right Gatsby's instructions for quickly getting up and running with a new project. And this is what we're going to follow in this tutorial. We're going to make sure that you have installed Gatsby's command line tool by running this command here. And then we're going to practice generating a new site by running this command, moving into that site, and then starting up the local development server that runs the site on your computer. So to get started with that, let's switch over to whatever terminal app you've chosen to use. I'm using an app called Hyper, but you can use any terminal app you like. If this is your first time ever using the command line and typing commands this way into your computer, you might feel a little nervous. I certainly did my first time, but don't worry, you're not going to break anything. If you accidentally mistype a command, all that's going to happen is that command won't run. So typos aren't something you need to be too concerned about. So as Gatsby's documentation says, the first step is to make sure that you've installed Gatsby's command line tools on your computer. This is something you only need to install once, although it does not hurt to run the command again because all that will happen is that you'll update it. So because this command is a global install, you can run it from any folder on your computer. So when I've started my terminal app here, I'm in the root folder, and that will work just fine. We're just going to type npm install global Gatsby CLI. We hit enter to run that command, and now we wait. So what this is doing is installing Gatsby's command line tools globally on your computer so that from any folder, you'll be able to use the Gatsby command to create a new site. Okay, so that installation has completed. To verify that it worked, all you need to do is type Gatsby and then version. And if you have the Gatsby command line tools, this should report back a version number. So running that, we see 2.4.8. So that confirms we have the Gatsby command line tools, and the latest version at the time of this recording is 2.4.8. So now that we've installed Gatsby's command line tools globally on our computer, we are ready to start a new Gatsby project. To do this, we want to navigate to the parent folder where we would like Gatsby to create our new site folder. So for me, that means changing directories to my sites folder, and then the tutorials subfolder. When Gatsby creates a new site, it creates a new folder for it. That new folder is now going to live in this tutorials folder. To create a new Gatsby site, you just need to run a single command, and that command is Gatsby new, and then the name of your project. So basically, site name. You can name your project anything you like. Just make sure whatever name you choose for your project here does not contain any spaces. So let's call this project First Project. And when we run this command, what's going to happen is Gatsby will create a new folder called First Project, and it will clone the default Gatsby starter into that folder and then install all of that project's dependencies. So let's run that now. And you can see here the installer has begun, and now we just need to wait for it to complete downloading and installing all of our new project's dependencies. In the meantime, while that runs, let's go to the documentation here and navigate to the starters page, which is here. We're using Gatsby's default starter in this tutorial, but you have lots of other options. If you know your project is going to need some more advanced features and you'd like to start with those features already installed, you can choose a more advanced Gatsby starter that already matches your goals. Gatsby officially maintains 3 starters: the default starter, a blog starter, and a Hello World starter. Gatsby keeps these 3 starters up to date, so they're generally a good place to start if you don't have a specific reason not to. The Hello World starter is more or less blank. The blog starter has basic blog functionality installed, and the default starter contains a few good examples of how you might want to structure your Gatsby project. Beyond those 3 official starters, there are a number of starters that have been contributed by other Gatsby developers, and you can check them out here by going to the starter library. You can see that the starter library contains 100 different Gatsby starters at this point, and this number keeps growing over time. So to find a starter that might be right for your project, the best approach is to either search or filter this list based on the features you're looking for. Here on the left, we can see a number of categories. These categories will help you narrow down which starter is right for you. So for example, if you are looking to create a blog, the blog filter here will reduce the list down to 31 possible starters. That's still quite a lot. So then if you look at the other filters, this shows you, for example, that if you're hoping to create a blog and write your posts using Markdown, you can also click the Markdown filter. And now you're down to 7 possible starters. And you can keep refining what you're looking for until you find a starter that includes a number of things that you are going to have to figure out how to implement anyway. So just starting from that point can potentially save you a lot of time. If you'd like to see more details about one of these starters, just click into its details page. Let's try this one here. And on the starters detail page, you'll see a link to go see a demo of this live in the browser. You'll see a screenshot of what the top of the site looks like with this starter. You'll see a link to go to the GitHub repo and check out the source code if you want. And then a summary of what is included in this starter for you. You'll see a list of its features, and then if you want to get right down into the details, you can see the exact dependencies that the starter includes. Right now they're showing 15 by default. You can click this button to show the rest and take a look to see if the package you want is already installed, or click on some of these packages to learn about exactly what they do. So for now, let's head back. In addition to using one of Gatsby's official starters or one of these community starters, you can also create your own custom starters that include your favorite components you've built in the past and want to reuse, any other solutions that you like using on a project. For now, let's stick with the default Gatsby starter and head back to see if our installer has finished running. And it has. So if we now check what is inside our tutorials directory, we can see that the new folder for our project has been created. So we can now change into that folder, cd, change directory, first project, and let's open our project in our code editor. You can use any code editor you like. I am using VS Code. So I'm going to open our new folder. And here we are. You can see that there are a number of files and folders that Gatsby has installed in this project. In the next video, we're going to go through what all these files and folders do, but for now, let's see what this starter looks like in the browser by default. To view this project in the browser, all you need to do is type Gatsby develop. This command will start Gatsby's development server, which lets you view a live version of your site on your computer and lets you see the changes you make to that site in real time. So we're going to run this command. And when the command is finished running, you'll see this compiled successfully message, which tells you that the development server is ready now for you to view. To view the site, we just copy this URL that Gatsby provides, copy, and we paste it into our browser. So I'm going to open a new window and paste that in. And this is what our new Gatsby project looks like by default. I'm going to resize this window a bit so that we can see it next to our code. And this project is all ready for you to start customizing, and you'll be able to see each change you make in the browser as soon as you make it. And just to show you how cool this is, I'm going to navigate inside the project to the source folder, into the pages folder, and I'm going to open index.js. And just to prove this is working, I'm going to go to this hi people line and edit it, save. And just like that, without refreshing the browser at all, you can see that the edits I've made in the code editor are showing up in the browser. That's how easy it is to get started with a brand new Gatsby project. Now that your computer is all set up and you have the Gatsby CLI installed, all you need to do to start your next project is type Gatsby, new, and then choose a name for your project. In the next video, we'll go through each of these files and folders one by one so you understand what they do and how you can begin to customize your project. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.